So 3-4 is all about parallel and perpendicular lines. And I have 3 theorems for you, and then just 2 examples to kind of go along with those theorems. But the first thing I want to do is have 3 people come stand up here. Can you do that for me? Who wants to come stand up here? You don't have to do a thing. The class is going to do something. Thank you. Come stand. Okay, just stand right next to each other. Yes, good choice. Okay. Would we say that they're standing straight up and down? They're not like doing a lean or anything? Okay. If I say that Carissa is parallel to Wyatt, is that true? Yes. Okay. If I say that Wyatt is parallel to Ethan, is that true? Okay, so they're both parallel to Wyatt. So then what else do you know? Look at that, transitive property, right? Carissa is parallel to Ethan. Okay, you can sit. That's all I needed. So if you have 3 lines, and we know that with those 3 lines, let's just draw 3 lines here. I'm not even going to write this proof out. I'm going to draw a picture of it, and I'm going to put the more like mathematical version of it here. If you want the whole wordy version of it, you are welcome to get it out of the book. But I'm going to call this A, line B, and line C. Here's what this theorem says, okay? And it doesn't even have a name. It's theorem 3-8. You don't need to know 3-8. It says if A is parallel to B, okay, so if we know these are parallel, and B is parallel to C, so we know these are parallel, then exactly what you told me, A will be parallel to C. Okay, so if 2 lines are parallel to the same line, then they are parallel to each other. Transitive property with parallel lines, right? Okay, so that's the first theorem. The second theorem deals with perpendiculars, but kind of in the same regard. This one says this, and this one I am going to write out just because it's a little less clear when you just draw a picture. Well, that's not true. It just has a key phrase. This one says in a plane. Okay, key phrase. In a plane, if 2 lines are, do you remember what that symbol means, upside down T? Perpendicular, okay? If you don't, write the word in. If 2 lines are perpendicular to the same line, okay, and I want you to see if you can figure out what should come next. So here's your picture, okay? These lines are perpendicular. Those lines are perpendicular. So if 2 lines are perpendicular to the same line, we'll call that line A. They're both perpendicular to line A. What is true of the 2 lines? They're parallel, okay? So if 2 lines are perpendicular to the same line, then they are parallel to each other. And if you want a shorthand way to say that, if I call this line A and line B and line C, we would say if A is perpendicular to B and A is perpendicular to C, then B is parallel to C. Okay, so if they're both perpendicular to the same line, they're parallel to each other. How do you suppose they came up with that theorem? Does that look familiar? What are those? They're corresponding angles that are congruent, right? And when corresponding angles are congruent, then the lines are parallel. So yes, they're right angles, but they're also corresponding, which is why we know they're parallel. Okay, any questions on that? All right, first example. Are any of you into woodworking? Yeah? You can make me something anytime you want. Cutting boards. I love wood stuff. Okay, let's say you are a carpenter or just into woodworking, and you're gonna make a frame. Okay, so these are the pieces that you would put together, nail them together, glue them together, however you want to do. So this is the top of your frame, and then you have the two sides of your frame. Okay, if you made it so that these angles were all 45 degrees, would your two sides of your frame be parallel to each other? They would, right? Because these would be perpendicular if you put them together. These would be perpendicular. So because they're both perpendicular to the same line, they're both perpendicular to the top of the figure, they will be parallel to each other. But like I said, we have angles here that we know. These are same side interior angles that are supplementary, right? 90 plus 90 is 180. So we know that they would be, but we can say yes because, sorry, I should have said your question. Are the sides parallel? Okay, so yes, because the sides are both perpendicular to the top. Okay, God bless you. What if your frame looked like that? Are your sides going to be parallel?
Yes.
Are you sure?
No.
What are your angles? 60 and 40. So those are 100-degree angles. Is that perpendicular? No. And if you have 100 and 100, then your same side interiors add up to 200 instead of what? 180 is what we would need. So this would not work. This would work. Oh, get that? I didn't even try to do that. Woodwork? We were talking about woodworking? Guys. I get my stupid jokes from my dad. I'm sorry. He tells dumb dad jokes all the time. Okay. But I love him. He's great. Last theorem is the perpendicular transversal theorem. Okay. This one again, key phrase, it has to be in a plane, and I'll actually show you on this one why it doesn't work if it's not in a plane. So two-dimensionally, in a plane, if a line is perpendicular to one of two parallel lines, then it's also perpendicular to the other. So this one is really just kind of an altered previous proof or previous theorem, right? They're very similar. It's just what you had to start with that was different, but you have all the same information in the end. Okay. Basically, here's what that is saying. If I have this setup, okay, this is line A, this is line B, and this is line C. So if we are given that A is parallel to B, okay, so if A is parallel to B, and we're given that A is perpendicular to C, then we can say what? based on what that theorem says, what could we say right now in this picture? What? B is perpendicular to C. Okay. So knowing the red, we can say then those two lines will be perpendicular. Okay. Here's why it matters that it's in a plane. You don't necessarily need to write this down, but I just want you to see where this doesn't work out so that you don't get it mixed up. Let's say it's not in a plane. So this is three-dimensional, right? We don't like three-dimensional here. Okay. Let's say AC is parallel to BD. And then we say that AC is perpendicular to CE. Okay. Notice we turned a corner there. We didn't go this way with it, which would have kept it in the plane. We went off of that plane, but still perpendicular to the line. Is CE perpendicular to BD? No, they never even come into contact with each other, right? So this is where it doesn't work out. That's why it's important that in the proof they say in a plane, because it works in a plane, it does not work in a three-dimensional figure, okay? All right. We're gonna leave it at that. So you have three theorems and just kind of using those theorems to see what's parallel, what's perpendicular. That's the extent of it. Short.